It may not feel like it outside, but May 5th will be here before we know it. On the ballot for voters living in the Marquette Area Public School District is a bond proposal. Joining us in the studio, we have Superintendent Zack Sedgwick here. How are you doing this morning?
Great to have me, or thanks for having me, Becca.
Yes, of course. We are happy to have you here to kind of inform us about what this bond proposal is all about. The Board of Education passed it earlier this month to be on the ballot, correct?
Correct. Yes, at our most recent meeting, on our January 12th meeting, the board unanimously approved placing the ballot, or placing the language on the ballot, and that proposal it included specific language that would actually appear on May 5th, 2026.
All right, and so this is a $60 million bond proposal. Can you kind of explain what the bond entails?
Sure. Well, first, it's just under 60, 59.995 billion. We really tried to sharpen the pencil as much as we could, but it's been a long time coming. Our infrastructure is a little tired, and since I took over roughly 5 years ago, infrastructure was clearly a need. So we started doing our own evaluations, our own assessments shortly after I took over. We actually determined over $100 million of need. More recently, this past year, the state released a statewide infrastructure study where they also looked at infrastructure throughout public schools in Michigan and told Marquette Area Public Schools that there was over $100 million worth of critical infrastructure needs. So that's comprehensive. You can imagine many of the infrastructure that you wouldn't see: HVAC systems, electrical systems, roofs, parking lots, etc. But then, of course, the classrooms. Our students, parents, and sometimes even their grandparents that went to school at Marquette Area Public Schools, were they to return, would actually see some of the same facilities, the same needs that there was when they were in school. So you think about academics, of course, classrooms, technology, and furniture, and the HVAC systems, electrical systems that you see in the classrooms. Academics, athletics. Many of our athletic facilities are great need. I think about our locker rooms at Bothwell and the high school as an example, and a gym floor that's been needed to replace for a long time. Our press box at our football field is in disrepair. And then the arts. Not just in the building, band, orchestra, and choral, but also Kaufman Auditorium gets some attention. In the proposal, Bothwell has about 40% of the revenue targeted towards that facility, and the high school comes in second, Grave Rat third. But those three buildings in particular, Bothwell, Marquette, and Grave Rat, we identified significant needs, comprehensive again, across all those systems, which would of course improve operational efficiency, but then also in the classroom, the instructional level, with the infrastructure that students need in order to learn effectively.
Yeah, for sure. And if it does pass, what does this mean for the taxpayer?
So the current bond proposal would be a 1.55 mil increase. Currently, Marquette Area Public Schools levies about 1.31 mils, and that comes from a small bond that was approved in 2016, and also a sinking fund that was approved in 2022. That 1.31 mils, far below almost all of our neighboring school districts, and certainly below the state average, which is about 4.55 mils, or excuse me, 4.5. With a 1.55 mil increase on top of that 1.31, you're looking at about 2.86 mils total that MAPS would be levying, still less than the state average of 4.5, and still less than quite a few of our neighbors.
Right, for sure. And if this doesn't pass, what does this mean looking into the future for the school district?
Well, if it weren't to pass, then we would have to revisit the proposal and would likely consider coming out with a new proposal. But the 59.995, or roughly $60 million proposal came from a survey that we sent out back in September. We asked and we listened. In the survey were 6 different options for potential bond proposals, with different packages, if you will, for each option. And the survey was clear that the $60 million proposal was the most favorable, and we have some pretty strong data indicating that the community supports, in general, overall supports that particular figure. So I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be successful. We have a great community that I know cares deeply about our schools, and I think that partnership, I hope that partnership will carry us through. But if it for some reason didn't, then we would listen to that data as well, and we would adjust accordingly.
All right, yes, and then looking ahead from now until the election, is there anywhere where people can get information? Are you guys going to be holding any information sessions or anything like that, just to inform the community, especially if they don't have kids in the school district?
Yes, of course, great question. So our website, www.mapsnet.org, we have a facilities planning page where you can find everything you could possibly want, including the infrastructure studies in their entirety, and some press releases, different presentations that we've given, video presentations, PowerPoint presentations. We're looking at hosting 2 town halls at Marquette Senior High School and Bothwell Middle School. Actually, we're thinking about Bothwell first on March 2nd and MSHS on March 3rd, where you could actually come hear some of those similar presentations, but actually see some of those facilities that we're targeting. And with Bothwell and MSHS having the largest portion of the funds being targeted for those buildings, it made sense to host them there.
Yeah, and is there anything else you'd like to add this morning that you think people should know, Zach?
Well, Marquette Area Public Schools has over 750,000 square feet of buildings. Many of those spaces haven't been updated in 30, 40 years. In fact, our average building is 30 years old. So you can imagine, our average building is 60 years old, and our newest buildings are 30 years old. And when those spaces, if you own a home, haven't been updated in 30 or more years, you can imagine that there's a lot of need. So this is coming from our own internal audits and also a statewide infrastructure study. And I think our community, especially those people that have been in our schools, recognize the need. And I'm encouraged by the feedback I'm hearing from our community about this proposal.
Yes, Zach, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, and we'll have information for you on our website too on that, myupnow.com. Stay with us, and we'll be right back after the break.